I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to YouTube. Nobody does. No one does on this earth. We all don't know what we're doing, and that's the best part. Just kidding. It's really not. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back, because I thought, well, no one would. So in this week's video, we're gonna be talking. I say this week's like I didn't film like 4 fucking other videos that haven't come out yet because, well, technical difficulties. This week we're gonna be talking about some old crazy childhood stories, because I feel like those are the best. When I go to like parties or anything, I love sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, and the first thing they usually always tell me is a childhood story. Like this one fucking time I was chilling with my friend, right? Dude, I have to tell you mine now. And then, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pretend like we're getting drunk, and I'm gonna share with you some of my childhood stories. And you can leave some down in the comments, because I love reading shit like that. And it'll also make me feel less crazy, or less like this shit only happens to me. I grew up on a kind of rougher side of town. I wouldn't say it's like too bad, it's like okay, but I did go to school in kind of like a shady area. My friend asked me to meet her by the flagpole. She's like, we're gonna hang out after school, it's cool, we're gonna go home, we're gonna make cheese fries, and we're gonna watch Jenna Marbles. We're like, sure, why not? Let's go home and fucking binge watch that shit. She's hilarious. So we're on our way home. We are walking past this McDonald's that everybody fucking went to. We're walking by and we see another one of our friends. We're like, hey, and he wasn't super duper close with us at the time, but like we knew of him, and we were like, hey dude, like what's up? We stopped and got McDonald's. He continued walking. Well, when we walked out of the McDonald's, we seen some kids bullying him, and it was so fucked up. I was pissed. Naturally, with my fucking loud ass, I walk up to the boys and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're being an asshole, like fuck off, you know? They continued to follow us to my house, because I lived like kitty corner from the McDonald's, and I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing then. We're gonna go home and you guys are gonna fuck the hell off. And they were like, ha, fuck you, bitch. And I was like, oh shit, like they're fucking coming for me. So they literally followed us to my house, and they're just sitting at the bottom of my stairs, and they sat there for an hour or so, and then finally I was like, I'm calling the fucking cops, dude. Like, you're pissing me off. Junior high kids hear cops and they're like, I'm fucked. So they like straight ran, and I was like, then after that we just sat around all day, and I think we watched movies. I don't remember really much after that, but I do remember that story because it was fucking insane to me. I never ever experienced bullying like that on this extreme of a level. We just feel so bad for this kid. Like, they were just calling him gay and like the F word. Later on, he did end up coming out, and we're super proud of him, and now everybody's super supportive of him. Fucking awesome, because fuck those guys. They were So if you know anybody who's being bullied, please say something, and the person knows that you're looking out for them. Even if you don't, like, it's just nice to know that people they actually have a good heart. You know what I mean? Our next story. Like I said, I grew up in a shitty part of town. So one day I walk into my PE class, and I have PE class with a couple of my friends, and one of my friends was with me, and the bell rang, right? So let me just start off the story by saying that there is this guy, and he would always think that it was okay to touch girls inappropriately. When I was younger, I didn't really think about stuff like that. It was more of like what they push into your head now, like, oh, like if boys are just being boys. Until finally I was just like, fuck this guy, right? And he always used to do that fucking slap ass Friday shit. Does anybody remember that, or am I just like old? Like, I'm not that old. I was in high school like a week ago. Like, like. Anyway, so I walk up into my fucking gym class. This motherfucker's in here. Mind you, he's always slapping my ass. And it fucking pisses me off, right? Every time he does it, I'm like, fuck you. And he'd be like, what are you gonna do about it? Worst fucking thing to say to somebody who's about 5 foot, okay? Because you know, I guess anywhere from like 5'5" to like under. If you ever tell a short girl, what are you gonna do about it? You might as well have shot your own foot off. The end of gym class, like we're, you know, about to start hitting the showers, right? We're like breaking from our basketball, whatever the fuck, and he comes up and slaps my ass again. And he's like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? And my friend's all, come on, Kylie, like, let's just go, like, whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, let's just go. Like, so we're walking down this hallway. He's coming down this way, and everybody's like trying to get into the assembly. My ass gave 0 fucks this day. And all it kept playing was all the times he kept saying,
what are you gonna do about it?
And I was like, you're right, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? When I was this age, hey Kylie, you're going to go to multiple raves this year. So I got a bunch of candies and I had them on my wrists. And I just walk up and start beating the absolute fuck out of him. And every time I would like punch and swing back, my fucking bracelets would like fly up. But the cool shit is like my best friend at the time, he was there as well. He sat there and picked up every single one of my bracelets as they flew off. As I was beating this guy's ass. That's a fucking best friend, and you better find one like that. For like the next week, people kept coming up to me like, oh my god, are you that girl that beat up like that guy? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh my god, like thank you, like it needed, you know, like this needed to happen because he literally is just like the worst. And I was like, oh shit, like, and it hit me then that like he's done this to other people before. It was just crazy. I didn't get suspended. I didn't even get in trouble. Nobody called me down to the office. No fucking teacher saw. No idea how, because everybody was like, oh shit, like in the fucking like, you know how people make a pit, like it's like a mosh pit, but it's just like 2 motherfuckers going at it. This one is a short one, but it's the most ghetto. So we were in 9th grade. And I remember we were in 9th grade because like everybody just kept shouting, you're an adult now, like act like it. And I was like, oh, again, walking home from McDonald's, I see this kid, new kid, might I add. It was about start of the year, and it was like when the gang shit started coming like to my town, and everybody wanted to be a fucking blood and a crip and all this shit. I'm like, y'all are ghettos. Was a fucking blood, okay? So I'm walking home from McDonald's by myself with my fucking headphones in, and I'm walking around like don't give a fuck, like I'm fucking probably popping to some Rihanna. And I look over and this guy is literally beating the shit out of somebody with a crowbar. A crowbar! Where the fuck did you get a crowbar? He's like, oh yeah, fucking real gang shit. I'm like, you're 12, sit down. There used to be fights that would happen all the time outside of my house. Like I said, it was like McDonald's was the crack spot. I'm not even joking, okay? Fridays was the day, you know, and I still hear them. Oh yeah, by the way, I still live in the same apartments that I did. Literally all of my friends left, and now here I am, still here on the internet making YouTube videos. 21 years old. Hi. So I had this friend, and she was kind of reckless. Like, not too reckless though, which is why I liked her. I was like... So, mind you, we are in junior high. One day, I go over to her house, and we're sitting there, and we're like bored as shit, right? And we're having a sleepover. We were sitting in her room, and it's pretty late at this point. Her parents have gone to bed, all this shit, whatever. And she gets up and turns to me, and I'm like, yeah? And she's like, dude. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you know what we should do? Steal my parents' car. You know that fucking meme of that guy where he's like, that was me as fuck. And I was like, okay. I would be lying through my teeth if I sat here and was like, no, don't, because I was like, yeah, I'm down, but I don't know how to drive. And she was like, I know how to drive. And I was like, are you fucking sure? Are you sure? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, sounds good, whatever. And we literally went outside. We didn't want them to wake up like to the sound of their engine starting. We just turned it like on and then put it in neutral, and then I pushed it and she like steered it out into the thing, and she started the car and we were off on our motherfucking journey. We picked up our friend and then we decided to go to the Kearns Rec Center and fucking just drive around in the parking lot. We pull out, right? We're like, something doesn't seem right. We're driving home at this point, and I notice that there's a car that has been following us for like the past 5 minutes. It fucking cops, sis. And they pulled us over. We were terrified. My other friend in the back, who had been in so much fucking trouble for being like a runaway and all this crazy shit, she was like, Kylie, I need you to pretend like we're sisters, and so that they'll take us home, you'll take us home together. I was like, we have 2 completely different last names. Yeah, they let us off like with whatever. They called her parents though, and her parents were pissed at me. Even my friend was like, that was my idea, and I was like, they're like, well, yeah, she agreed to it, which is true. I did agree to it. Her mom's going off on me, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I need you to call your mom. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And I called my mom, and my mom was sleeping, but she woke up and she answered, and she was like, hello, and I was like, hey mom, and she was like, no, tell your mom what you did. And I was like, hey, sorry, we kind of stole my friend's mom's car and went on a fucking joyride and got pulled over, so I'm gonna come home now. And she was like, okay, and like fell back asleep. As I hung up the phone, this girl's like, no, I want to talk to her. And I was like, well, I just hung up. She's like, we'll call her back then. I'm like, okay, fuck, okay. Called her back, and she didn't answer. She fell back asleep, and I was like, fuck. And she was like, you didn't even call her in the first place. And I was like, yes, I did. She was like, well, you thought you were so slick, like, I'm taking you to the door. I'm like, I'm not being slick. I told my mom, she just doesn't give a fuck. Or she brought me to the house, and my mom's like sleeping, dead fucking sleeping. And she fucking knocks on the door, and she's like, I just wanted to make sure that you knew what our daughters were doing tonight. And she was like, yeah. She just called me. And I was like, oh, I was like, who's slick now? I think she got mad that my mom wasn't more pissed. Like, my mom was like, pulled me inside and was like, whose idea was it? Why did you do that? And I was like, I don't know, I was bored. Like, I agreed to it. And she was like, don't do any stupid shit like that again. And then went right back to sleep. I mean, she probably cared like a lot, like, but at the same time, like, number one, it wasn't her car, which is probably why my friend's mom was so pissed, is because it was her car, and I think she didn't want it to be her daughter's idea. And I, like, literally, since that night, I still have not talked to her mom. So here we are, some crazy childhood stories. I'm sorry if story times are like totally fucking like out of the park now. Like, I don't want to be that bitch, but at the same time, I have some stories to share, and it's my channel, and I'll do what the fuck I want with it. If you watch, that's totally up to you, but thank you for staying if you did stay. Make sure you fucking subscribe and hit that like button, because I want to know if you guys like this shit. If you don't like this video, I'm sorry. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and we will go ahead and see you next time. Bye! Now I gotta make this thumbnail. Ugh, thumbnail gang. Oh, fuck. I feel old.